Lock in, mask up, game on, let's go. Minnesota Airsoft Association, call your hits, feel the elevation. Hey. Snow, sun, we're running every nation. Minnesota Airsoft Association. From the woods to the warehouse doors, green gas clouds and scattered mags on the floor. Friends then foes, the second the horn blows, we rush, reload, that's how the story goes. Minnesota Airsoft Association, call your hits, feel the elevation. Oh yeah, squad up strong, this is dedication. Minnesota Airsoft Association.
Good evening, Airsofters. Good evening, Airsofters. It is Gabe from the Minnesota Airsoft Association. I am here tonight with Caleb.
Nice to see you guys.
And our friend David from Project Echo Airsoft.
A real American hero.
He is our producer. He is also, what did I say I was going to remember to do? I didn't do it, so I forgot to mute something, so you get a little extra back-end technical stuff. Tonight, we're going to talk about the 2026 Midwest Airsoft Convention, which was last Saturday, March 28th.
Yep, it was a good time.
It was a good time. If you didn't go, shame on you. Where were you? What were you thinking? Where was your head at? No, it was a great event. Right now, we're still doing some of the back-end, in the auditing of things, but we had more people than 2024. In every metric, it was a success.
And 2025.
I meant 2025, yes. I'm already ahead of a year because I'm already thinking about 2027 at this point. But yeah, so everything about the con was a success. We had more people. We had more vendors, more sellers, more presenters.
More fields.
More fields. Like, again, across the board, it had more. Now, maybe
less food trucks.
Two less food trucks, but faster service. So these are all things we'll get into, but that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And we hope that you engage with us. As always, we're hoping that if you attended the event, that you give us some feedback. What did you like? What do you wish we did more of, or had more of, or did more of? I don't know.
And if you didn't attend the event, tell us why you didn't attend.
Yeah,
that's always great feedback.
Yeah. Like one of the struggles we always have with any event like this, and the game organizers and the fields are the same way, is what pulls you in? What makes you say, eh?
Yeah, like it was a nice day. I'd rather just get out and play than go look at Airsoft. I'd rather shoot it.
Yeah,
that's a legit reason.
Metric-wise, we're right now informally, I'm saying mid 500s, 550-ish. We got some reports that Twin Cities Airsoft had about 60 people. Big Lake, what was it, David, had?
I think I heard
30,
40. Yeah.
Right? So like another 100 people were playing Airsoft potentially on a day that we had the Aircon. This was early in the season. This is almost a full month earlier than we did it last year.
Which, hey, that says something for the community. You have basically 650 airsofters doing something on a week, on a weekend.
And one of the discussions, just as we're talking about attendance, is, a gag, which is usually the largest in the area kind of game. Big Lake Tacticals, Drug Wars will pull 150. I think maybe they've gotten to 200 a couple times. Gag has reached 400 before. Yeah. Usually is in the mid threes, and that's not including the other fields. So there is a player base probably active of 500 to 600 players.
Yeah.
In our area.
I mean, even the biggest national games.
Oh, yeah.
Usually won't hit numbers like 400.
And honestly, a lot of the bigger national games cap it because managing that many players is a headache. So, we feel like we have done a good job of maybe tapping who we can, but it's always, how do we improve? How can we get more interest? right? So again, as Caleb already said, if you didn't attend, why not? You know, maybe you were doing yard work. Maybe you had, you know, maybe there's something for work or school that you had to do. We're just kind of interested if there's something we could have done better. Always.
Yeah. Also, like a big shout out to everybody who did attend.
Absolutely. Let's just go to that.
Especially for our volunteers. There's a lot of old school airsofters, MAA guys that really step up to the plate, make it possible for us to run it. And they pulled through and rocked it.
Yeah, without that, it doesn't matter how much organization or how much promotion we do. Like, someone needs to run it. Someone needs to, like, most of you knew Rude. Rude is our fantastic prize MC and general announcer. Like, he loves that. That is one of his things he waits all year for.
He loves to hype up the crowd.
He loves to hype up the crowd.
No, he likes to heckle the crowd.
That's part of his hype.
Heckle.
They're both H words. They're both H words.
Yeah,
So like, but that like that's his thing. But he can't do that alone. He had our buddy Touche who was helping out behind the desk. We had Crunk and Tank. We have all these people, and I don't want to. I don't like to give everybody's names because I don't know if they want me to publicly. You know, call signs versus real names. But
there's a group of like 20 guys and girls that like made the con happen.
Yes.
On the back end.
Without them, none of this happens.
Yep.
So, biggest shout out to them, just because again, we can't. This is all just an idea, and I'll just once again say, they're volunteers, and when I say that, that means they're giving up their time on a Saturday because they love airsoft or love people who love airsoft. Like, thank you to those. Thank you to the partners who showed up to support the nerds who like airsoft. So. Some of our signs would not have been written as eloquently or as delightful as they were without you. So a big shout out.
Airsofters write like big retarded.
Yes. Hey, okay, there we go. Dump button.
Yeah.
Dump button first time. No.
Why is it always someone we bring on this show we need a dump button for?
And I'm going to use that dump button that doesn't exist multiple times.
the dump button. When I do this, that's the dump button, and I'm just gonna have to go because it doesn't actually happen. But I'm gonna do something, and I just kind of because I don't feel like everybody gets to hear who's actually at the con. We did some shorts.
Yep.
We did pre-videos that said it. But honestly, guys, this kind of event is unusual. Like, if you've never been to a con of any convention, airsoft convention, almost no one has been to, but like a Comic-Con, a gun show, like those kinds of events where people come in, sometimes I don't think you realize how awesome it is, how special it is to have people. So, you know, we had...
It's not just how special it is, it's the confluence of all those things in one place.
Like,
that's what makes it
the fact that everybody can be in the same room talking about the same subject, but from different angles, whether you're a seller or a field or a team, like, that's really cool. I mean, people want to buy stuff. There's always people want to buy stuff.
Individually, all these people are accessible on their own, right? You can go to Airsoft Station, you could go to Big Lake, you could go to TCA. What you can't do is all these people in one spot, and that's really what, and that's what makes it special. So So I just a quick shout out. I'm gonna kind of I want to do this also because like donations and prizes come from these places. Yeah. And we during the raffle drawings, you know, we're moving, we're mentioning it, but I don't think we give enough credit to those people. Yeah. So, you know, Airsoft Armory donated both on behalf of Airsoft Army and as for Champion Valley, and they're coming. Airsoft Station donated that awesome G&G combat machine. CISA Military was there. XFOG, Aaron from XFOG. Again, how cool is it that a guy who is nationally known for his fan system decided to come to our convention? Yeah, that's super awesome. Dude invented it, he produces it, and he promotes it. Like,
and he like promotes it. Like, I heard him talking to a lot of people and him going, oh, thank you for that feedback. So, like, you get to talk to the maker of something that's super cool. Danny from Minnesota Night Vision was there.
He had some cool stuff.
I wish I had a chance. I will reach out to you later. We're going to do an interview. I really find, like, people, it's not something accessible to everybody, but there are people who are starting to get into that, and they're interested. Do I need $20,000 nods to go to an airsoft game.
Well, and he had some screaming deals on like single tubes.
Did he really?
Yeah, it was like a single tube setup
makes me
for like
regret
$1,000.
even more that I didn't get to see him. Dylan from Moose Defense.
He makes some sweet gear.
And I'm still reaching out to get my dangler. That's the thing I want from him. David from Poppins Patches. Cameron from Sizable Designs. Jared and his wife. I will say wife. Jared from Tack Waffle.
His significant other.
His partner. His SO.
His ride or die.
His seamstress. Whoever that delightful young woman was, like they came from Southern Missouri as their shop. Yeah. They were new to us, new to Minnesota.
Oh yeah, they came up. They were like, we were assuming that the weather would be just like Southern Missouri, and we were wrong.
Yeah, they were quite wrong. Quite wrong, frankly. And so we moved them inside because they were going to be outside. But like they came in and that was a new business, and they were like, oh, we're coming next year. Yeah. This is, again, if you're from Minnesota and you've been to this con before, I'll be honest, you might take it for granted. He was like, I've never seen anything like this before. And it's not the first time we've heard this.
I mean, I think most people outside of Cali and a little bit on the East Coast haven't seen anything.
Even large swaps are not something a lot of people are used to. So something that's actually this organized, pulling in all the fields, everything, I also just want to say, so 6 Mil Mando was there and actually had a lot of conversation between him and for Galactic Civil War and Stalker event, which are all at Action Sports Wisconsin. TJ and Raymond from Airsoft Arena were there.
Out of Milwaukee.
So it's the only
indoor field
in our entire Midwest.
Yep.
You can go 5 states and farther and still not find anything indoor. It's always great to have them. I'm going to jump to Nate from Central City Airsoft in Iowa, who's not the only field in Iowa, but he is one of the biggest, and he's probably the biggest promoter in Iowa.
He's definitely the most vocal.
I mean, he's trying to encourage any other fields he knows in Iowa to be like, you should be coming to the Aircon because it's just more eyes, more people to meet, more connections. Yeah. And who can forget Alex Paterakis from Mere Tactical? That hair, that mustache.
The governor.
The governor.
The governor.
The best hair in Airsoft.
The best hair in Airsoft, it's true. I mean,
that
comparatively, yes. Absolutely.
That could be a patch for him.
I mean, I actually found a patch that he had snuck in one of my bins, and I was like, "You sneaky guy."
He gave me the sticker. He gave me the sticker of his golden locks. I'm putting it right on the back of my trailer.
That's the one.
I'm putting that right on the back of my trailer.
No, it's fantastic.
It's awesome.
Yep. We had the Southern Minnesota guys. So Marshall and Tanner announced that they're opening their field down in Austin.
Just outside Austin.
Just outside Austin.
Yep.
So that's big news, guys. All you Southern Minnesota Airsoft players, oddly enough, the Southern Minnesota Airsoft group is opening a field for you. So that's great. And then we have our anchor groups, right? Like we have our Big Lake Tactical, so that's Travis from Big Lake Tactical, Adam from Crossfire, and Blondie on behalf of Darren from TCA. But I mean, honestly, if Blondie's not watching yet, but yes, if you're anybody,
the BB Queen,
Blondie. So yes, and big shout outs to whomever gave her the crown. I know who gave the crown, so that's why I'm looking generally at this direction. But
then there was a bunch of teams too that showed up.
Yeah,
like teams that have long-standing ties to the airsoft community. The Horsemen have been around forever. So that whole squad.
Teams of the airsoft community in Minnesota.
Who else? Night
Stalkers, along with you, David, with Project Echo. Not only there just to promote your event, Nightshade, but also just as another team, right? Like we actually had fewer teams this year than last year.
I mean,
but they were there. They just didn't have tables.
Right. So they're like Rich.
Rich with Pork Chop Platoon.
Yeah, like he represents a group of guys. Bad Goat, they have a small team.
Yeah, and our game organizers.
And our game organizers.
So I think the thing I'll point out for Rich, who we've done an interview with before, is Rich is actually probably our best national resource. When I say that, I mean he knows so many people around the country playing Airsoft. He is really tied in with Third Coast Airsoft. Big thanks to Third Coast Airsoft for giving golden tickets for our raffle. We're hoping to see some new faces repping Minnesota and the Midwest at Third Coast Airsoft Games this summer.
And one thing I'll say for Rich, he is a huge proponent of getting new guys out to national games.
Absolutely.
He wants new blood on a national level. He wants Minnesotans to be traveling to see what Airsoft is like outside of the Midwest.
Yeah, and Alex and I are going to play at least two of their games this year. And if you are out there, and I know one young man, and then his father got gifted the other golden tickets that were part of the raffle. Like, if you guys want to hook up with us, please do. I know Rich already talked to you, but again, that is just another kind of a status thing as far as we're getting noticed by national game organizers as well. I'll just say we have more people to reach out to, and so if you're hearing this and like, hey, you didn't reach out to me, we will, or reach out to us. We'd love to either have you out or have some donations.
It's one of those things that like there is no reason if you're local to not like you run a field, you run a store, like why wouldn't you tap into this? It doesn't make any sense to me. But
I mean, people have things, but all around again, big thank you to all of our.
I mean, Chris, we
didn't say so, and we take them for granted, and we shouldn't.
No,
because they are actually, like we talked about it, they are another cornerstone. So if we're here are how about the cornerstone? Like Chris Yu is our original OG dealer.
Chris and Timmy, you could kind of clump them together.
I mean, that's kind of weird. I don't like that image in my mind isn't so comfortable. But yes, so Timmy Tambo and Chris have been around helping the community really just because they love it.
Yeah. Like they're passionate and they're both movers and shakers in ways that I've never seen anybody else.
If you wanted to, like, we're talking about Rich knowing people from national from a gameplay point of view. You wanted to talk about people who know people internationally
on like a manufacturing
and importing level. That's Timmy and Chris, which is why when you see them and they have stuff that you've never seen before, like that's another thing I think that probably Minnesotans or Midwesterners take for granted is
the only other place you see that is Cali.
Probably, and it's old Cali.
It's old Cali.
It's more OGs. And Chris Yu is the OG of OGs in I would put him in nationally in the United States.
I mean, he was playing Airsoft in the late 80s.
People know him. You have to take care of Uncle Chris. We've heard this many times from some overseas manufacturers. Yeah. So there you go. So yes, I'm sorry if I didn't want to omit them. It's because they deserve their own special recognition. But everybody, thank you for whether you were a seller or a field or a team.
And one thing I want to say also is like Enola Gay, they didn't show up, but they sent us a bunch of swag to give out, and they're making an affordable product again, which is awesome.
And they're making the products that we really like. We are in full believers in Enola Gay. People be like, oh, tagging. We also are full believers in tagging. But Enola Gay is our preferred, and they really came through for us. I mean, how can I say it? Like, I like them enough that I would promote them anyway. But the
100%.
But the fact that they actually supported us is awesome. So, and this is, we're thanking everybody who came. We're looking forward to reaching out to some new people next year, and just making sure, it's more connections. How many more connections can we make to make the Midwest something that people are noticing more?
Yeah, I mean, I think VFC. G&G, some
KWA. Right? We'd love to have
like stuff like that where it's like we could hit some of the
and we got some of those contacts, and we're hoping just to leverage that. Like timing was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, and I say terrible. Like right now, we're talking about con for 2027.
Yeah.
And right now is when we should be.
Yes.
Because for a lot of companies, we actually heard this from EVIC like 4 years ago. They're like, we need 6 months to really do this. And let me take that as we talked about Enola Gay. EVIC also sent us things on behalf of, and that was one of my big feathers in the cap this year. EVIC was like, oh yeah, we know about the con.
Yeah.
We'll send you stuff because the timing worked out for them better. We talked to some other people at SHOT Show. You can look at our videos from SHOT Show where
like the problem is SHOT Show happens. There's a recovery from that,
which is everybody doing the business from SHOT Show.
Yeah, and just like it's a week-long event, so people are burnt out, and so like they need a little bit of time to catch up, and then goes into Chinese New Year after that, and then business overseas just basically stops if you're doing anything in China.
Yeah,
right.
And that's anywhere from 1 week to a month.
Yeah.
Like I had ordered some things from Hong Kong, and I ordered a week before, and they're like, we're not shipping it because if we ship it, it'll get stuck in a dock or somewhere, and I'm not sure it's going to get to you. So it's better to do it later. How later? 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I got it in 3 days. Like so, there's a period of time depending on what you're getting, and again, it's people who are doing business.
It's you think you have more time than you actually have, and then con is on top of you, and you're like, oh, all the things I wanted to do is too late. So this year or for 27. We're starting now.
Yeah, we already have a list started. Yeah. We had it's our same list that were the people that we missed or we didn't hear back from yet. So like those are all people we're going to start reaching out. And this year's con being successful, another successful year, is another one of the things that we push for that. You know, we're like, hey, we have a consistent. We're consistently getting 400, 500, 550. Like we're on the upswing every year.
And that's big thanks to you guys, because without you, it wouldn't be successful at all.
Absolutely. So I see we have a comment. We try. So the MAA always has some tables, and we know we cause some confusions because sometimes things are on the table and people are like, "Hey, are these for sale?" We usually are trying to put out the things that are unique
or that we like.
And it's always what can start a conversation, and we know some of the other teams are doing this as well.
Or stuff that like it's hard to find, or you won't see it.
Yeah.
Like to James's point is like a lot of the time you're just like, oh, this looks cool. I can read about it on Reddit, but ultimately I have to order it online without ever putting my hands on it.
Yeah, and depending on the type of unit, because there's so many products of Airsoft, going to Station or one of the Army or the local stores, like they might not have it.
Yeah, a lot of local stores will be like, I don't have it, but I can order it for you.
Yeah. And then you're in some level of commitment, maybe. Yeah. So,
that's okay. I conned James into a e-smoky. He went over and bought one.
He should have bought one because they're
which I will want to say that
Flare BTs are awesome.
He is one of the newest members of Project Echo now too.
Congratulations!
Very nice. So he's a plant, is what you're saying.
That's why I was ignoring him because.
Okay.
James. I really loved Echo Airsoft booth. They were the best.
More David, please, on the videos.
I was expecting. That's what I was expecting his next comment to be, and I was going to ban him, but
we need the subs, David.
I know.
David's the greatest.
Well, as we're talking about that, so we talked about everyone who came. I'll just ask our general until we can post. We'll post again that we sent out a survey on a couple of on our Reddit, on our Discord, on Facebook. What did you like? What could use improvement? What got you into how did you find out about the con? Your feedback is invaluable to us, everybody.
It doesn't really matter what it is. It's all good feedback.
Yeah, like for us, we are not we were having this discussion. We're not positive, negative. How you say it maybe could be refined. Like, it sucked. Cool. How did it suck?
What do you mean by it sucked?
Like give
tell
us
us why.
Be specific. The bathrooms were dirty. Like, red shirts are not good. I'm colorblind. Use blue. Like, I'm being a little silly, but we need details. Like, if something was not good, what could we do? Maybe we can resolve that. Maybe we can't. But if we don't know about it, we can't do anything about it anyway. So how can we better promote more food trucks? I would have loved to have a second food truck, but I'll tell you, Roland Nolan's sure seemed popular, and they did well. And I will just say, we hope you enjoyed them. They enjoyed being at the event, got a little lost, but when they got there, they were cooking and they were pushing it out.
Food was fast. I will say food was fast.
Yep.
Ultimately, that's the whole goal, right? You want it to be a win-win situation for everybody
who comes in.
For everybody who's involved in the con.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like the general, and I said this in some of my posts, I felt like the general vibe was very positive. Yeah. Like, I don't, people seemed happy. It seemed active all day. There can always be a little bit of a lull between the 3 o'clock raffle and the 5. I didn't really see that. I was admittedly pretty busy.
Yeah, for me, it just felt like the day flew by.
Yeah, all of a sudden we were done and I was exhausted.
Yeah,
but
I will say at the point that you started doing interviews, the crowds did thin out a little bit, and then it
wasn't because of my interview, was it?
Well, maybe.
I think it's honestly, I think it was after the first.
Yeah, because after the 3 o'clock drawing is usually when we see some.
Yeah, you'll see some people fade.
Dip.
Because it's a long day.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, David, like, what was your favorite part about the con?
Yeah.
Just like getting into let's get into hey, David, what was yours? Gabe, we'll just go through it.
I think my favorite part was just talking to a lot of people and a bunch of people that showed up because they saw signs and stuff and had no clue what Airsoft was. I probably talked to at least 10 people that just saw a sign somewhere. I was trying to take a tally of how many quick trips they saw signs in, Alex, but I couldn't get a direct answer. And yeah, yes, both of them. Fine, go. Child, what's for dinner?
Whatever you want.
Yes, you're 16. Go make it. Yeah. So no. I think talking to the new people that were new, and there was a few of them, and they came back after a while, and they're like, "This is cool. I'm buying Airsoft stuff, and gonna go play." And I'm like, "Cool. That's what we want." So I think that was my best takeaway from the day.
Yeah, to follow up on that a little bit, the only time I really went outside, I went to the food truck for a second, and I ran into this dad. He had a little kid with him, and the kid was wheeling and dealing. He was awesome. He was just like, "I'm brand new to Airsoft. I don't know anything. Where can I get a free gun? How can I do this?" And his dad was an Army dude, infantry guy. We connected, and I was like, "Hey, man, like." He's getting into it, and so I was able to talk with him and introduce him to Timmy, and they were able to make a deal where he got a kind of a sweet deal, and it was a lot of fun to see new players coming into the sport, getting a warm welcome from a bunch of different people. To me, that's always exciting. And then on a selfish level, for me, it's out now that I'm in Pennsylvania. This is time for me to catch up with my friends. And so I get to see all these people that I see Gabe on a regular basis. I see Sam and some of these of my closer friends on a more regular basis, but the Horsemen and stuff like that, people who I've played with for years and years and years, this is one of the only times I get to run into them. And so that's always fun for me.
Yeah. And tangentially, so I have two things, and that would be my first one, is the people. So you probably saw during different parts of either the raffle or quiet times when some of the guys in red shirts or green shirt, you'd see us hug random people. Yeah. People were at the raffle that we didn't, people we knew from 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah, Jared Anderson.
Jared Anderson from Combat Paintball. Yeah. He used to run a field. Yeah. He used to be one of the primary game organizers in our area. And he just was there. Yeah. And he's a quiet dude anyway. So when he won a prize, I was like, "What are you doing here?" Yeah. At the end of the day, for those who maybe didn't stay all the way till 6, the Brooklyn Park Police Department did show up. And here's the story. It was an Airsofter who grew up with us.
Yeah.
He was a young guy, and now I don't know what his rank is, but
it's a sergeant, field training officer.
He ended up getting a call about gun show. Then heard it was Airsoft and was
drove by, saw your flag.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah. Hey, if you saw the flag. So it was I bet you I know who these guys are. Comes in, and I'm like, "Oh no, I see BPPD," and it's our buddy. And again, I haven't seen him in 10 years.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And then another officer showed up who also played Airsoft.
Yeah, so it's just the people you see, and then some old teammates of ours who we haven't seen just because, life happens and you move on. There was a lot of hugs, and depending on we're huggers. We saw people that we maybe see once
what you see them once a year, and it's
Yeah.
at con, because not everybody plays anymore. But people have they've been so affected by Airsoft in a good way that they're like, oh, that con's happening. That's a one chance. I might not buy anything, but it's a chance to see friends.
people. Yeah.
So, the other thing is, I'll take the new angle. At the end of the day, I met a guy who, again, selfishly maybe, he was like, oh, I'm a streamer. Like, I'm gonna try to get into Airsoft this year, and this was great. I had no idea that it was this organized and that all this stuff was possible. And he had a gun bag on his back. He's like, I'm totally playing in this year. And I was like, hey man, this is the event for you. Like, if you have any questions, reach out to us. Like, that's just great. So the new people, right? Like, I think that's probably the old people, new people. You're making connections.
I mean, and the other thing is, like, the other cool part about con is there's some crazy steals of deals.
Yeah, and I think that's what there's a whole section of people who are coming to con and they're like, they got their Indian Bazaar hat on. They're like, okay, I only have $5. What can you do for me? I mean, the buying aspect is always a big deal at con.
I mean, the best pitch I heard all con, Airsoft Arena, was basically like 40% off everything. And then we start negotiating.
Yeah, right. Like, he knew what he was doing.
Like, I walked by and I heard him throw that spiel out there, and I just started laughing. I was dying because, like, who can resist that?
Yeah. Well, and
on that note, did anybody see how the kid did that? He started with the BB and he was trying to do a trade up. He came to our table and I think we gave him a 3D printed foregrip for a BB. And I don't know where he went from there. Never saw him.
That's either a future politician or a future salesman, and one could argue it's both. But
I wonder what happened to my truck when I went out into the parking lot.
You accidentally traded him your truck keys.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, the buying and selling aspect, like, we want it to be more than that, and to us it is.
It is.
But we recognize that is a huge draw. For some people,
that's the main reason they go.
Yeah, absolutely. And James is saying again, having, Third Coast giving some golden tickets, Mir, being there and talking about their events. Again, that's the Midwest. And the Midwest isn't ignored, but there's so much going on in the places that have essentially military bases.
Well, like, Minnesota in particular has a lack of good AOs.
Like, major for the larger MilSim organizations.
So,
like, again, we don't have any military bases. Like, people go, oh, we have Ripley. That is not a deployment base. We have been, I'm hitting my mic. Yep. We have been to Ripley before. We have played at their Mount facility. It's a wonderful facility.
The Cactus is great.
But they also, they are reserving that for their own needs.
Yeah.
And it's not terribly convenient, not like some of these other places are either, but it's just not, they just are not super open to us, and so it's not an option.
So, I mean, if you are one of those people that has a connection with some crazy cool AO, like, I know that most of these national organizers are always looking for new places to host games.
In fact, in my interview with Alex Patarakis from Mir, I said, you're always looking for new venues, right? If anyone has an idea, and again, your idea might be a Kmart in the middle of the city. That might not be the best idea, but allow someone who's a professional game organizer to say, let me assess this. Let me see the licensing. Let me see the safety issues. Let me, if you have ideas of that kind of thing, and you make those connections at an event like the 2026 Midwest Airsoft Convention, That's an opportunity to talk to a game organizer who runs games in
knows what it takes for an AO to be successful.
Yeah.
So
apparently, Hibbing Elementary School is going to be open for too soon.
Well, yeah. Also, this is why the concept of good idea, bad practice. There's let's play in a hospital. Hospitals are not great AOs.
No, jails are even worse.
Yeah, jails, nuclear facilities are just series of choke points. Like, at some point, you're still just like, there are no holes, there are no back doors.
You mean the jail that's designed with one entrance?
Yeah, so you can't escape is a bad AO.
Escape? That became a natural choke point? What?
Yeah. But anyway, those are still venues that if you find, people are often like, hey, what about the abandoned? Yeah, what about the abandoned? I'll be honest, a lot of people have already thought about that, but
Yeah.
propose them.
Yeah.
And new set of eyes. So, uh,
You guys tried something new this year.
yeah, we did. So we tried the streaming thing, and I don't think we got some people to watch while we were doing it, David.
174 views overall.
So, small, but what we're hoping is, and that was the live stream over the course of the whole day. So it was kind of a, what do you catch when we're doing things. I'll be complete transparency on my side. I put too much stuff on my plate, and I was like, oh, let's interview 14 people. And
you needed to start before the con opened.
I needed to start before the con opened, and I needed to start. I ended late, and I didn't get to interview some of the people I wanted to. David and I had some plans. The con started, and you're just doing business. So, at some point, just walking around and talking to people, which again was our point, not getting to do it. But when we did get to do it, we wanted to make sure we hit our local fields, and our local game organizers. So people had an idea. We did miss Reckon from Batteries Not Included, but I'm still going to do an interview for him just because he's another. And we pitched that game. That was something, again, the MAA. Reckon is an MAA member. We support that event. We ref that event for him.
For a long time.
Yeah. Our members go to that game because it's super cool. But that's a game that we feel like people need to know more about.
Yeah, because it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it's a different kind of game.
Yeah.
Right. So, those are all things. We were happy. I was happy. I hope everyone we interviewed. We're going to cut those into smaller, bite-sized chunks. I think between 14 and 18.
14 to 20 minutes is a long interview.
Yeah, I know, but they were so. The interviewer was not only handsome but gifted. His questions were
ruggedly
poignant
handsome
and ruggedly handsome. I don't like to get too personal with him, but anyway. Hey, there you go. Our friend Ozzy, who was in France, actually watched. Our friend Alex, who could not be at the con.
Yeah, the reason the con wasn't a bigger success.
Yeah, that's really
is because Alex.
The worst part about con is that Alex wasn't there.
Yeah.
Or was it the best part?
And the best part about con was that Alex wasn't there.
Because he takes too much of my attention. More people wanted him to interview them than me. I actually will say our buddy Alex, who you guys have seen in a lot of our videos, almost all our videos at this point, he couldn't attend, and it was a real bummer for him because this is one of his favorite events of the year. So as we're talking about connections and seeing people, he loves this event. So both a shout out and a shame to Alex.
Well, also Alex is like one of the biggest tinkerers that just comes up with crazy stuff. And that's a draw for people where they're like
many of you have seen some of his videos of just crazy stuff.
Like the China Lake.
His master key, and MG master key, which is utterly ridiculous. But, these are the things he likes, and this is where he likes to talk to people. Yeah. And he also likes to see what people are selling because he sees his ideas, his future projects in these things. So, again, shout out for Alex for all his assistance leading up to con, and what will be assistance lead. Like he's an integral part. So, yes, we're making fun of him. We know he's going to watch this later. But Alex, you were missed, and
when you're crying into your
cafe,
your pants seat,
your Louis Vuitton.
He's in France, right? When he's crying in his Louis Vuitton bag.
Yeah, just know that we love you. And
just know that we missed you, and that a lot of people did ask about you.
100%.
So, if that makes you feel both good and bad, mission accomplished.
Risto had a sweet, talking about cool stuff, he had a sweet Vietnam display.
Yeah, so not everything got to work out how we expected. Our buddy Eric wasn't able to do his sci-fi power, but he has done that in multiple years, and he will do it in the future. That's always very popular. This year, we also had planned on doing a Vietnam display.
So Eric kind of pivoted.
Yeah, and Eric was already going to be assisting.
Yeah.
But our friend Risto did a Vietnam display, which was very popular. A lot of people walked in. It's actually funny. One of the guys I know locally, Mike, if you're out there watching this eventually, who's a big Vietnam guy, couldn't come to con. Yeah. And he actually is a huge spokesperson for the sport. He's always at TCA.
Yep.
He's a very, very vocal and positive guy. He couldn't make it and was super bummed. Not only because it's the con, but because there was a Vietnam display. And that is his thing. So, Risto, we're already, we want you back. We'd love to have it.
the way it worked out is in the morning, we actually were like, hey, Risto, before the con, we're going to give you 2 tables. And he was literally like, oh my God.
If I would have known that, I could have done X, Y, and Z.
I'm packing more stuff.
Yeah.
And so that worked out really well. And so he had so much stuff. And then our buddy Eric and our buddy Tank also put in some of their collection.
More Vietnam stuff.
And I'm not sure how much of that translated to Bad Goat, who also runs a Vietnam game. That's not their focus this year. I think they're really focusing on their Cold War event. But either way, like that is another thing. That is another aspect that we like that's not buying, right? So across from the MAA tables was the 2 Vietnam display tables. That was really cool.
And a lot of people, like, if you're just a standard airsofter and you play at TCA or Big Lake or Crossfire, you might not even know that there's Vietnam era
historically based
games going on out there, or World War II based games. There's a lot of stuff out there, so it's kind of cool to see it
nationally and internationally. It's actually funny how popular Cold War, World War II, Vietnam games are in other countries.
Yeah,
because for them that's the reenactment, right? Like if they might not have been involved in that conflict, but they're so say what you will, but like we actually have a buddy from Taiwan, who his original Airsoft group is a Vietnam reenactment group. And in here, well, the fact that he bought an actual modern placard like 2 years ago shocked us.
Yeah.
Because he still bought it in Tiger Stripe, but he
loves Tiger Stripe.
Yeah,
he likes his XM177.
No matter what we're playing, if modern game, he's still going to be wearing his VN kit, running his GBBR XM. So like that's just another aspect that we feel like not everybody gets to see maybe.
Yeah. And like it's Risto freaking had this sweet comms package that looked like it was 1,000 pounds. But like to me, I was like, oh man, like nothing is more immersive than a dude running around with a giant
heavy
comms backpack in Vietnam gear with a pack of smokes on his helmet, and a peace sign. So that's always fun.
Yeah. So if you're interested, if there's any of you out there who are interested in some kind of display table in the future and you have a very specific niche, we have done things in the past where teams have just been like, we're just going to show gear.
Yeah.
Because gear is, while highly personal, is also like people don't know what's possible sometimes.
I mean, that's kind of what the MAA does.
That is what we try to do. Yeah. It's hit or miss, and sometimes people really it resonates. Some people like this year we heard my single action armies. My revolvers were very popular, and people just that's not a gun most people pick up, or because it's not a practical weapon.
And the Levar.
Yeah. I mean, which is a ridiculous gun, but I also love it. So again, unique things, unique gear. Part of it's also capacity to speak about it too. Like we had last year we did a lot of launchers. This year we still brought launchers, and people asked about it. So, we did displays. I think the displays are positive because it gets you out of just thinking about sales and thinking about what's possible.
100%.
What's available from another viewpoint.
The educational piece, plus like seeing something new.
And this is where I'll again mention both our buddy 6 Mil Mando on behalf of Galactic Civil War, which is the Star.
He had a sweet
Star. Yeah. He had his e-web out, and he actually said, I brought it, and I was like, and he didn't even need to say what it was. I was like, I bet you did, because that's great. And then the guys from Stalker, a lot of people wanted to know about the Stalker event, because that's, immersive airsoft and live fire kind of event. Blank fire. Yeah, not live fire, sorry. I mean,
blank fire.
There are fires. They do like campfires, but yes, but blank fire event at Action Sports, like, that actually ended up being, I think that was more accidental on my part, but now that I'm thinking about it, that whole area was more
educational,
informational kind of things than sales, right? Like
100%.
People were pushing their games and their events, but there was also like we were pushing BNI, batteries not included.
Yep.
And we had platforms that people were like, "Is that an airsoft gun?" Yes, that's an airsoft 100%. Gun. It's just not one you're going to see on an average game where everyone's shooting full auto and everyone has M4s, AKs, and
Turns out the lever action gas, Remington, repeater is not skirmishable against full auto M4s.
Against a Crytek LMG or an M60
with a 5,000 round drum.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought, we hope that was popular, but also, let us know your thoughts on that. If that
it is niche.
Yes, it's very niche. And you know, for every one person, are there 10 people walking by? But also, are they taking a look? Again, if you're interested in that kind of thing, what else would you like to see us do? Or pull in? Like, it might not be us, but we'll help find content experts, or the people who are running those events. You know, we'll try to do that. So. One of the questions we, you know, along with the feedback aspect is, you know, what does the con mean to you? We've said what it means to us, connections and talking, but you know, we're always interested in what the con means to you. So, for our, how many people do we have in chat? 6,000, I see. For all of you in chat, but again, as you're watching this video, if you want to comment, what does the con mean to you? Did you make a score? Were you there only to buy and you found, like, I know a dude on Discord who I told, he was like, I'm looking for this. And I said, I know a guy who's selling it. And I saw that guy there and he's like, I found it. Great. Like that's a success story. That's a wonderful story about the con, something that person, that player was waiting for and he found it. So like, that's awesome. But you know, was there something else? Did you win something?
Yeah.
You know, we had 37 prizes.
I was going to say almost 40.
Almost 40.
Yep.
And
almost 40 lots, because there was multiple prizes in the lot.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, we're talking individual items. We have a list somewhere. We have to go through that. But yeah, lot wise, I think we were at 38 lots.
Yeah, something.
Eventually.
Like that.
And like that's, hey guys. So just comparison from a game. Your largest event for Airsoft in the Midwest, with the most prizes available.
Yeah.
In the Midwest. We try that. That's something, you know, that
we're proud of that.
We're proud of it. Yeah. It's not our purpose. Like, we're not saying, we're gonna have the most prizes or but we want it to be interesting for all of you.
I mean, if we didn't think that this brought value to the community, we wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, so like that's at the end of the day, that's what it comes down for me. Like, hey, does the community want this? Is it valuable to the community? Cool, let's keep doing it.
And this is again where I'll make that pitch where as you travel to play more Airsoft, Minnesota and the Midwest in general has a very friendly community. And I say that, and I will add, like, I've met some delightful people while playing Airsoft.
100%.
But they're not usually as organized.
They're not as tight-knit as an area.
Like, the Minnesota Airsoft Association started, you know, in 2000, and then there were other, like, there was an Iowa Airsoft Association, there was Chicago Airsoft Association, and a Wisconsin Airsoft Association. We are the only one that still exists, and that's just because people age out or different things happen, or a lot of those groups started as teams who tried to come together to form, whereas Minnesota specifically kind of started as our group, and then teams formed out from us.
And that's fair to say to a point, but I think you're doing yourself a disservice because I would say the reason the MAA still exists is because you have been active since 2000 in Airsoft, right? Like, and that's not to pump you up, but it's like, and you've had a core of guys around you that also have loved it.
I mean, that's the thing. It's when you have enough people around you, someone always needs to be like, hey, let's do this. And then
need a leader.
Sure. And then what happens is you realize there are people around you who are like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where all the teams out there, that's how all these teams started. It's usually a bunch of buddies, and one buddy was like, hey, you know what? Let's do this more organized.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, that's, the MAA exists for the community and for
ourselves.
For ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, again, I will say I shopped 5 seconds before the con started. I spent $5 and it was completely random as I said, hey, that's neat. And the guy was like, $5. And I was just like, okay, done. I didn't shop at all. I didn't even get to look at tables, really. I mean, we did do some looking. We did buy something.
I bought one thing. It was when I was walking around before con started, collecting table payments. I was like, wait, is that what I think it is? Can I sell that? No, you can't, but I'll buy it.
Yeah, it was not strictly speaking Airsoft. It was a collectible of a different sort, and that's all you get to hear. But when for us specifically, the two of us,
yeah,
you know, and most of our staff, they are running all day.
Yeah.
So like, you got to see the tables because you were interacting with them to see how they were doing. not because you were specifically asking for, you know, like, what do you got for sale? So like, that's the bummer part. If I have a thing that I regret, it's that I don't get to walk around more, or at least I didn't this year because of the interviews. But you don't really get to shop sometimes. And sometimes it's just easy to talk, or it's nice to talk to people about, where did this even come from?
Yeah.
We've heard stories within our group that were like, I sold that gun at con 10 years ago, and now someone's selling it again as a used parts gun. It's just funny to see for us, the old timers.
Yeah, Josh was like, I found a bag of mags, and I knew those were my mags from 10 years ago.
Or when we see something that has been sold and our name is still on it, and we're like, oh yeah, I gave it to somebody a long time ago.
But to your point, there is a lot of, for me, I know all the big players, but some of the private sellers have a story that I have no idea what it is.
Absolutely.
And I wish I could have, like, there's some guys with some very cool guns in the private sales area, and I was like, I wish I could talk to you more. I just don't have time.
Yeah, like, again, we consider ourselves pretty well versed in airsoft. We've seen a lot of things. We know a lot of people, meaning like we've purchased some odd things from people who have good connections. And when you see those, on other people's tables, you're like, wow. That's why you realize that the world is actually kind of a smaller place. So we had a ShyTac 2000, M200 actually, sitting just out for display, non-functional. And some guy came up and said, hey, where did you get the flash hider? Because I have one of these and it doesn't have a flash hider. And I was like, dude, there's like 100 of these. Like there's not many of these. How do you have one? He's like, I don't remember. Like that story alone, I was like, what a weird world. Like the fact that two ShyTac M200s exist in the state of Minnesota, it's just weird, guys. Like, but also what a neat connection, right? Like that was just cool. So, so I mean, we tried some new things. I think generally we'll do them again. You know, the technology of streaming.
I think the streaming thing was a great idea.
We hope people learn more from it as you watch the videos, whether or not it was super valuable at the location and maybe distraction, TBD, right? But
I mean, the fact that Ozzy from France was watching the con, like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Like, also cool that, you know, we have friends that are
in France.
Yeah, in France. But it's weird that two of our friends
are in France
and both watch the con. So basically what I'm taking from this is that France loves the Midwest Airsoft Convention.
Yes.
That's really what I'm taking from this. I think that's the natural conclusion on
So is that the next tier of the Minnesota Airsoft Association, is the France Airsoft Association, you know?
I mean, I did get Jacques reached out to me and asked me if I would be interested in coming and doing the Franco Airsoft Association convention. That didn't make any sense. That was a bad joke. It didn't land.
I mean, I think, you know, like we did kind of like what it meant to us, what the positives were. Do we want to run into any of like, hey, I think we could have done this a little bit better?
Yeah, sure. David, so being, again, in that vein of constructive feedback, what do you think from your point of view, and we already talked offline about this, but share, what do you think, either you as from Project Echo, you and Project Echo and Night Stalkers, you as our producer for what we will soon be branding, we'll soon brand this the broadcast. What do you think you would like to look at for improving next year?
I would like to improve definitely our timeline and the ability to get, I would like to be almost having, whether it not be you, me, someone else, you know, we bring in to interview people. I'd like those to be almost all day, and have the ability for the audience to ask questions right then and there, you know, like a Comic-Con would do or something. I think that would be an improvement.
Or like the panel rooms. Yeah, like, you know, yeah.
Didn't we try that one year? Where we had a sitting area?
Yeah, so we actually did do a sitting area, and I don't recall. That might have actually been 2023, the year we came back. And because we only were in one room, so in 2023, every year, that year and every year previously, we only had one room.
one big room. And we actually lotted off an area of chairs in front of the stage, and we did a series of panels. We did HPA versus AEG, how to get into national games. So like we had some interesting panels, and it was pretty good, but what it did was it ate up a lot of real estate. And that was the part that didn't work out so well for us then. We tried to do that some of you might remember, we used to have a separate room back when the National Guard was actually connected, and we actually used that as a private panel room. We actually did. I did a history of Airsoft presentation with our buddy Eric Pekizer. So like we have done different things. It's about what is our best use of space, and what do you, the Airsoft community, want to do. Like a lot of times we're just kind of like, hey, what do we think will resonate this year? And we have been trying to do more social. Maybe we do more videos leading up to, and then you can ask your questions to the people who are there yourself. So we're always looking for new ideas. So,
Yeah, or it's like, hey, we make a Facebook post of these are the interviews. Respond with questions that you have for them.
And that exactly, David.
Yeah.
We talked about that. It just we didn't get our schedule lined up. And I think again, I started to look at one point I said, hey, David, if we do all the interviews, we don't have enough time in the day to do it. So we'll split it up. And then even splitting it up, we were just going to be doing interviews all day. Like as it turned out, like bigger bites than we could swallow, right?
So, and I think I think going into next year, even though you're the face of this, I think bringing in someone outside to do the interviews,
I think Alex would be great at it.
Right, 100%.
I do think Alex will be better.
There'd be a lot of post editing to go on to bring, but no, I think because one, running the whole streaming thing, plus and then I had a booth, but again, my team was at going into con. My team was me and my son. We are now 6 or 8 members deep now leaving con because another team decided that they wanted to just fold right into us, so it worked out, and it's guys we've played with and all that. But I'm getting off on an ADHD tangent here, but that patch might be a thing. But I think that'll change, knowing what I know, this, because again, this was my second con only. My second con only.
Second con, and that's actually why your input's very interesting to us.
Because it's so different. Like, you have such a different perspective as a new Airsoft player. That like we take for granted.
As a new Airsoft player who also dived
kind of into the deep end.
Deep end. But both feet first into also helping run an aspect of con. Like that was a lot, like you said, table producing. Like at some point you were like, I don't have time to do the interviews, and like that's what we had thought about. So it just like that, everything you said, I think no matter what, we should do this at least one more time, meaning the streaming experience at con, and see if we can refine it. And then after that, really see
and I think
how it's received.
100% going forward, we should just have a live stream up. We can fine tune that. Whether or not we do the interviews live are a whole nother that might be something that a lot of those people that come from out of town probably are already in town the night before. We could do a lot of those interviews the night before and air them. Get a projector with the speaker and have them running, so people can see those interviews right then and there.
And dare I say, if you are a person who's interested into something like helping, or if you are a content creator or someone who behind the scenes.
So that's going to actually kind of lead into what I was going to say is, I think we do a lot with the people that we have. And we've had a solid group for a long time. But what we struggle with, and this is where I think we fall short, is getting new people to step up and help and take charge of the future of the sport. And it's something that I've realized, like moving away to Pennsylvania and stuff, it's like I can't be as active in the MAA as I want to be just because of geographic difference. But I see a lot of the guys that I played, grown up in the sport with, that they kind of fall away over time and they wax and wane because life takes you in different directions, right? And it's like, unfortunately, we're not all going to be here forever to run this stuff. And so we need to start getting newer guys in, getting them involved, having them take some level of ownership in
and not only ownership, but just interest. Like,
Yeah.
So we actually reached out to some newer people this year, people we already knew, people in our general age group, but people maybe, okay, there we go, people who may not have been included as staff, people who have gone to every con.
Yeah.
But we said, hey, we could just use some more help. And they're like, yes. Here's my pitch to say, if you're interested, reach out to us. Whether it be, hey, I just want to help at con.
Cool.
You know, what does that mean? We'll help you figure that out. We do have a very, we're building a more organized list of things, but like we have tasks that to do that we need help to do. And if you're interested, that's fantastic. We need that. David flat out said to me at some point, hey, I'm already going to start doing stuff. What are you guys doing? I want in. Let's do some stuff. And now, David, I'm just going to say it. And again, I don't need to pump you up, but like, thank you. Like your work and assistance has gotten us from 0 to wherever we are. And that's just, and you're still teaching me stuff. So if you are, I don't care if you're new to Airsoft, if you're
like 10 years,
it doesn't really matter. But if you have not gotten involved with our org or
a team,
or anything, like
something.
reach out, like either it be brokering, but future cons. If you want to assist, if you want to have a display table, if you want to like, hey guys, your raffle was a lot of fun, but I would have liked to have a live stream photo. Like, hey, tell us your idea. Can you help us with that? It turns out I'm an AV guy.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Or I love doing interviews. Like,
yes,
sweet.
Right. Like the gentleman I met who was already a social, or I don't want to say influencer, but I mean, he's already a streamer. He's like, I'd love it if he came in and outside perspective. Like my questions come prompted from 30 years of Airsoft, which has a perspective and it's great. But like a new player, a new person might have a totally different set, which would be so interesting. So
that we don't get to see.
Yeah. And if I'm being completely honest, I like doing interviews. I like doing these live streams. I like to do what I do at con. I like to work the room. I like to make sure everything's running smoothly. And this year, due to Alex being out of town, Caleb was the only one doing it, and that stretched him super thin. So between the two of us, we were, and this isn't a pity party, like we were just really exhausted, and we didn't get to do some of the things that we would normally like to do, which is again, talk to all of you.
Yeah, it's just engage with people.
So anyway, so that was from David's improvements to your improvements. My thing is more on the back end, which is how do I keep the stats? Like I'm more into analytics now as I'm getting older. I want to start tracking more. Like what are our trends? What are things people want? What do you want? So like this is where I'm asking for that feedback. There are things on our side that just from a purely numbers point of view, what can I do to make the experience better?
I mean, so Peter, the leader, this was his first con. He came from the East Coast, and he was like, the best part of this was meeting new people in a new part of the country.
Yeah, that's great.
That's cool.
And thank you, Peter. And again, but
like that kind of feedback.
Yeah, that's great. It also, was there anything like, oh, geez, I wish,
like I like this or I hated that?
Yeah, I wish they would have given us all Kit Kats. That's silly. But like, was there anything that you're like, hey, I would have liked more information about, like maybe a flyer with all your local fields on one, rather than that. Maybe we can work with the fields to have some kind of summarized view. Would it have been nice to have a map? Like I had a map, but that was more for me, so I knew where people were. Would have been nice to know who the sellers were or something. Maybe even something like, and we encouraged our sellers to make posts earlier, and some really got into it, some not so much, but is that something that's valuable? Again, my thing is always, how do we tweak this to make it more effective, more positive?
And you really like diving into the hard numbers and data on the back end.
It's like, we meaning there's a large collective we. There's like 20 of us who talk about this. Post-con, we've had multiple private discussions, and at some point we're gonna have to have one big one, but we have our ideas of what we think would make the con more successful. And we say successful, we just want it to be cooler. Like we want more bodies, right? Because the more bodies, the more education, the more people know about it, like our community grows. But that's what we want. We want that.
I mean, successful for us is everybody leaving con and loving that they were there,
Yeah.
right?
Like if the con becomes a thing like any other event where you're like, I can't miss con.
Yeah.
Like that's a win for us. But like our ideas on what that might be might not be yours.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So like, you know, these are all the things that we hear I want more used stuff. I want cheap stuff. And then we have people, I want new stuff. So like we have to temper all that, but those are still the comments that we need.
Yeah.
So that we can start, you know, looking, and again, this is where I'm looking at, like I'm literally making lists and, you know, charts and, you know, what can we do? So if you have ideas that my improvement for next year is how do I make it better? And that's every year, right? It's what do we do to make it a little cooler, a little more accessible, you know, a little more popular. So
I mean, that's a basic bitch answer, but I'll take it. I mean, I think
Dumb button.
yeah, dump on.
yeah, that's a long up button though.
I think your big thing is like you want to be able to track things on a yearly basis, right? Like, and getting that feedback and trying to figure out the best way to do that.
I mean,
because it's improving. Everybody always wants to improve, right? It's just like, how do you manage that?
Something you said resonates, and this is kind of where it's not legacy, but the Minnesota Airsoft Association as an organization, now a nonprofit, where that like the reason we work towards making this a nonprofit, so it exists past the current group. Like, so David's old, so he doesn't really count. You know, no, but that's not true. Like, we want this to grow to the point where the con is not something that's run by Gabe and Caleb and Alex and David and our friends. Like, this needs to be sustainable. And that's why as we're improving, that's why I want to know, like, how can we make this just be a thing that, you know, there'll always be work. But what can we do to make this the premier? I'd argue it is the premier airsoft convention in the Midwest because there aren't any others. But based on omission of that, of anything else. But like, what can we do to make this the best event in the Midwest where like you can't miss it? And then we get people from other states outside of the Midwest or other you know, like, how do we make this bigger? How do we make this as
I'd go
big
one
as
step farther on that and be like, we want to make this something, the MAA and the con together as one, to where in 15 years, 10 years, whatever, we can see you, Gabe, there just as a participant, just as an attendee.
in my rocking chair in the corner?
Well,
I remember when
you'll have a cane or your hover around, but it needs to be something where at some point, you know, you're no spring chicken, you know.
Well, you haven't seen him on an airsoft field lately.
Yeah, you videoed me from the rear. You know what I'm all about. No, you're exactly right. Like, there's a point, and I admit, like, this isn't something like I'm not trying to give up anything. I'm not quitting, but
no.
But like this,
we
this
will
needs
bury
to be
you.
Something.
We'll have your memorial at con, but
oh, geez, everybody, your raffle prize, ashes. You are all blessed. The big kahuna.
I'm having EG put you in a grenade, and
this is the most Hawaiian.
I will tell you a story offline about ashes in a grenade.
Okay,
that is very honorable.
I
But,
can stay
either
recording,
way,
right?
Like, yes, no, it's a good story. Either way, but like, feedback we get helps us grow the community beyond the community.
Yeah.
Right, the community. What can we do to make the community stronger? That sounds cliched. I get it. And when I'm on the field, if you're on the other side, I'm totally going to throw Mark 5s and EG67s at you. A lot of them. But off the field, we're just an airsoft community. What can we do? You know? So, like, yes, my answer is very hippity dippity. I work for a liberal arts college. Yep. No, feedback is a gift, people. I fully believe it. But also, you know, this is not my original brainchild, but when I picked it up,
you ran with it.
I ran with it, and I am a person who definitely has something in my head. All my friends will tell you, it's hard once I get a course of action. But I like the input. I like the involvement, and I like meeting new people who want to get involved. So
that's that's my
I
cliche
will
answer.
say,
I'm actually
I will
looking at
say,
Nate's
ever
answer.
since I've been coming to con, it's only gotten better.
And I would say as a standard we have as well. And again, what does success look like? And again, this going back to what does the con mean to you?
Yeah.
Your success, our success. If everybody generally says this was a great event, do the same thing, just more of it.
Yeah.
Cool. Like that, then we know at least we're on the right direction.
And I will say this:
Central City says he doesn't have anything left.
use inventory. That's a great
There you go.
point.
There you go, Nate.
I will say this: that no matter how good it is, you as a person will always strive to make it better. It's just because of who you are.
Yeah, and I'm not the only one, right?
No,
like we have come up with some interesting ideas just because we are, I think our group in general, and David, you've been this way, like everyone's an idea person if you open the channels of communication to allow it. And that's what we're doing, guys. Like if you were like, hey, I want this, like just say something, let us know. Again, wackadoodle is my specialty.
He knocks the crap out of my ideas all the time.
I actually, just full transparency, we had a day where like he was coming up with ideas and I was shooting holes through it, and I was like, okay, hold on. Switch. Now you're the opposition.
I was like, you've already shot all the holes.
Well, and it's difficult because, right, like we all have our, like what we're used to playing. But I thought that exercise, because I'm hippity dippity, like that's valuable. But ideas are where we make, like we could, someone we don't know, some 16-year-old new player might say, I think this, has anyone thought of this? And for 9 times out of 10, maybe, yes, we thought of that. But what if you have the next great idea?
Yeah.
What if you have the next, thing that, people want to talk about or see? How can we support you on that? How can the con support you? How can the nonprofit? So now we're kind of splaying out, but, feedback.
I mean, I think that's kind of like a good way to kind of wrap up the stream, is just saying like, hey, like we thought it went well. There's a lot of positives, but we're not going to sit on our laurel,
Absolutely.
rest on our ass and just take it. We're going to always move forward, and any input that anybody has, we welcome it. We're asking for it. We're not just welcoming it. We want it.
Yeah, we're
hungry for it.
We need it.
Yeah.
If the con is perfect from your point of view, we will continue to do what we do. But it's going to get stale, guys.
Yeah.
It's going to get stale. If like next year the same people, it's the same people. Okay, what can we do? So yes, you said it succinctly.
We're not the type of people though that will, we will be striving for better every year, and
every year we're gonna ask you the same questions.
Yeah.
So and for those of you who have maybe been to games that Alex and I have reffed, like I am the guy who in between games says, how did that game go? It was stupid. Cool. Let's do something else.
Yeah, let's change on the fly.
I am a person who wants that feedback all the time. I encourage you to think about that into the community in general. If you're going to a field, give feedback, because the field owners need that too. The retailers, hey, I wish you had more X. Everybody wants feedback. Constructive, not jerkwad.
Yeah.
So, not fun, but also important. I'm going to point out, I made a post about this. We have 2 lost and found items, a Tenergy Lipo guard bag that has some equipment in it, and then a Hy-Vee Kids Fit lunch bag that also has an item in it. And I don't think either of those people wanted to lose. So we have these at our lost and found. Please reach out to us in DM, either in this message or find us on Facebook, Reddit, Discord. You reach out to us in some way. Let us know what you think is in that. Confirm it is really what I'm saying. Prove it.
Prove it's yours.
We
don't want it. We want to give it back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lost and found.
Yeah.
I mean, what a bummer, right? Like both of these items, when we found them, we're like, ooh, someone's going to be disappointed they left this behind.
Like nothing's worse than finding what you want at a con, finding it, and then
and then forgetting it, then leaving it. Yeah, like that's what a bummer that is. So, closing on more of a business note, if you recognize either of these bags and can tell us what's in them, please reach out to us. We want to get it back to you. So,
I think
that's good, guys. We're going to start planning for 2027, but also we're just going to start for our own seasons.
Yeah.
Right. So look for more content from us, from David with Project Echo. We will be at some things together. We will be at some things together, but apart, meaning shooting at each other. We will be at different events same weekend. So like we have a lot of content that we hope to share with you over the summer coming up. If there's something you'd like to see us do, also reach out. Again, feedback in another way. But other than that, David, with anything you'd like to say to close?
I would what I would just like to say is you and your staff from an Airsoft player and a team in the community, I would like to say thank you for putting this on. Again, you guys, I'm just coming in this year and kind of in the middle. You already had a lot of things going, but the con is something that brings community together. And as we've stressed multiple times on the streams, community brings or makes Airsoft better. And I just like to say thank you from everybody for what you and the MAA does.
Great, thank you. Caleb.
No, I appreciate everybody that showed up. I appreciate everybody that worked. Appreciate Gabe because I get to stay at his house. But it's, I had a blast. This is, for me, this is worth coming back to Minnesota for. And traveling's a pain in the ass, but like I would do this again and again and again because I have a blast. So
great.
Gabe?
And me, finally, again, thank you to the community for allowing us to. Thank you for being willing to see my face, giving those silly daily updates. The community in the Midwest is very special, and I think you really realize that when you go out. But I also encourage all of you to start branching out more, start playing in other places, other fields, even locally. If you only play at one field, play another. Visit our friends down in Iowa. Visit our friends in the Dakotas or Boston. Like I will always say, go visit our friends out in Action Sport, Boston, or farther.
Yeah.
Our friend Alex's games in Sheboygan and
Skyfield up in Upper Michigan.
There are so many opportunities, guys. If you have questions, that is why the MAA exists, to help the community grow. So any questions, comments, let us know. Other than that, we look forward to seeing you on the field in the future and at next year's Aircon. On behalf of David, Caleb, and myself, have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Be safe out there, people. And that's it. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Lock in. Mask up. Game on. Let's go. Minnesota.